Hope lives always. And I've been around long enough, seen too many examples, not to recognize that there is a connection between hope and miraculous things. I once took a group of youth to Pensacola, Florida, after a flash flood hit that area. We were going to be cleaning up homes that had been damaged by the flood. And before we began our work that week, I took the kids to the beach just to give them a chance to run around, a chance to spend some time together, and a chance for us to worship together outside at the beach. It didn't take long before I realized that choosing that particular beach at that particular moment was a terrible call, because that beach was filled with jellyfish. The entire water, everywhere you looked, was jellyfish. So I brought all these teenagers out so that they could play in the water in Florida, and they couldn't, not unless they wanted to be stung by jellyfish. They had fun on the sand anyway. And later on, as the evening approached, we began our service of worship. We sang songs. I shared a message. We prayed for one another and for the work that we would be doing. And some people were walking by at the beginning of this service and stayed. They stayed and they listened to the message. They stayed and they prayed with us. They stayed and they participated, and we didn't know who these people were. But we were glad that they got to be a part of what we were doing. We were glad that they were so moved to be a part of our worship and our prayer. Well, after the service was over, a couple came up to me, two of the three people that were standing around. They came up to me and one of them said, "I want to be baptized." This is the only moment in my life that has ever mirrored that moment with the eunuch in Ethiopia, where Philip is encountering this man reading Isaiah, and the man says, "There's water right there. Why can't I be baptized now?" Apparently, the man and this couple, this man had been talking to his fiance, his girlfriend, I can't remember at this point, about faith for years, inviting her to be a part of his church, and they had this church family, but she just didn't feel ready to be baptized. And all at this moment, something clicked, this hope toward what her life could be. She saw those teenagers singing, and she realized that she wanted to hang on to a hope that would cause them to drive hundreds and hundreds of miles just to help people they'd never met. And she said, "There's the ocean right there. What's to keep me from being baptized?" I'm thinking in my head, well, the jellyfish, ma'am. But I hoped that they weren't out there. And as we walked toward the water, we discovered that there were no jellyfish. The creatures that had been there by the thousands, ready to sting everyone, dissipated right before we walked into that water. It was too miraculous a moment for me to not recognize God's presence within it. And right then and there, this woman began her life of faith as she emerged from an oceanic water of baptism where the fear and the sting of those jellyfish was nowhere to be seen. That's my hope today, that we will hang on to a dream of the future, hang on to a reality and a desire to grow closer to love and God and care, that we start to see things happen around us that we can't explain, that we can't discount either, because hope lives always.